This video is brought to you by Squarespace. For a website or domain, go to squarespace.com. Hey everyone, and welcome to a new video. I just came back from 3 weeks in Botswana, and I've been reflecting on my photography while there. We live in a world that's constantly competing for our attention. Every app wants us to stay on a few seconds longer. Every notification wants a response. Every algorithm wants 1 more minute of your life and will throw anything at you to get it. But every once in a while, we discover something that asks us to do the exact opposite. To slow down, to look, to notice, to experience. The juxtaposition between my life in a social media world and my time in the field made me realize that photography doesn't just change the pictures you make, it changes the person who makes them. Photography is a way of participating in the world instead of consuming it. And some people may say that in a world of AI that photography is dead. In this video, I'll explain why the opposite is true and why photography has never been more needed or relevant. My name is Simon D'Entremont and I'm a professional nature and wildlife photographer living in Eastern Canada. I make weekly videos giving you photo tips or taking you behind the scenes for nature photography. Subscribe if you want to see more. Some definitions say that photography is the process of recording light. I think that's like saying music is the process of vibrating air molecules. It's technically true, but it completely misses the point. Because the greatest gift photography gives us isn't the photographs we bring home, it's the experiences we have while making them. The images are simply the evidence we were there. So in a world increasingly shaped by AI and algorithms and distraction, I think photography has become more important than ever, and not for the reasons most people think. A lot of my videos are about what you can do for photography. Let's look at what photography can do for you. Number 1, photography rewards curiosity in a world that rewards certainty. Our world is designed around finding out the solution to all the problems we have and nailing down answers to all the questions. But instead of giving you answers, photography encourages you to ask new questions. Why is the light different today? Why is that bird behaving this way? What happens if I climb that hill? And what's the view like up there? And what state will the waterfall be if I climb all the way to it? This gives us good reason to ask lots of questions, and we see now that photography is the medium or reason we go looking for answers. Secondly, photography gets you into the world instead of in front of another screen. The camera isn't another screen product to consume. It's a reason to leave the screen behind. It gets you into the forests, cities, coastlines, and neighborhoods where otherwise you might not explore. It's also a reason to get up in the morning and leave the house. On this point, you'd be amazed how many amazing emails I've gotten from people with mental health challenges, PTSD, and other issues that have stopped them from either leaving their house or just plain living. And many have rewarded me by telling me that my tips and encouragement have made them leave the house for the first time, maybe in months, as they now have a good reason to. Good for you, my friends. You guys keep it up. So photography is a great medium to keep you exploring, keep you looking for that next opportunity. The photo is the reward, but we win just by exploring the world around us. I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. I built my own website using Squarespace and it was a breeze. A website is just a great way to have a professional place online where you can show off your work, your service, or your personal brand. Social media are often showing you or your work in short clips or photos, and sometimes makes it difficult to monetize, as they may not want links to external sites. A website is a permanent home for you and your work or brand, presented in galleries or on pages designed by you that show them off at their best. There are lots of useful templates, including ones for specific genres like photography, which is mine, or if you're more daring and artistic, you can go outside the templates using the new AI feature called Squarespace Blueprint to help you personally curate your own build. It walks you through all of the steps. A website is also a great way to monetize your work by setting up an online store so you can take payments by credit card or even PayPal from all over the world. And now with a new added feature of buy now and pay later with ClearPay and Afterpay. Go to squarespace.com to sign up for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Simon for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Another reason that photography is as relevant as ever is that it teaches patience in a world built around instant gratification. Taking the time to do something is a skill that we seem to have lost. But remember, the compass was invented before the clock because the direction you were headed in was way more important than when you got there. What we learn in photography is that the best light can't be rushed, wildlife doesn't arrive on demand, and often the best shots are brief moments that are part of a longer, slower timeline. And we also know that great photographs reward those willing to wait. On my recent trip to Botswana, I got to see some amazing scenes and took great pics, but there was also some time when it was quiet. In these moments, the quiet, the smells, the view, and the company that was with me was as great as the reward of any of my photos. Remember to check me out on social media, as I often give free tips to improve your photography, and sign up for my email list and you can download my guide for shooting backlit for free. Link below. A fourth reason that photography matters today is that one of the greatest gifts photography gives you isn't the pictures, it's the stories. When I look back through my favorite photographs, I don't just see an image, I remember what it took to make it. I remember the 5 a.m. alarm, the long hike, standing in the freezing cold, or waiting for the light to break, or the moment an animal finally stepped into the perfect spot after hours of patience. And here's the interesting part. Sometimes the story behind the photograph is actually better than the photograph itself. This is a nice photo of a lion nicknamed Blondie that I photographed a couple of weeks ago in Botswana. But do you know what the best part was? Him roaring at 4 a.m. near my tent to wake me up. To everyone else, it might just be a picture of a fox, a bird, or a landscape, but to you, it's the memory of the entire experience. The mistakes you made, the people you met, the challenges you overcame, and the feeling you had when everything finally came together. The photograph becomes more than just an image. It becomes a souvenir of the moment in your life that you'll never experience exactly the same way again. That's something AI can never generate. It can create a picture, but it can't create a memory. Photography doesn't just give you something to look at years from now, it gives you something to remember. Number 5, photography teaches you to appreciate rather than consume. We live in a culture that's constantly feeding us more. More photos, more video, more food, more expensive clothes, bigger houses, bigger cars. Always consuming and looking for bigger and better. Photography reverses that. Instead of asking what's next, you start asking what's here, what I already have. You'll notice the way the light falls across a field, the tiny details in a flower you've walked past 100 times, the expression on someone's face. Things that were always there, but you were too busy to see or notice. Photography slows you down just enough to notice what everyone else is rushing past. And I think that's one of its greatest gifts. It teaches gratitude for ordinary moments. It reminds you that the world doesn't need to become more beautiful, you just need to become better at seeing it. And that's a skill that once you develop it makes every walk, every ordinary day a little richer, even if you never press the shutter. And number 6, photography rewards effort in a world where so much is effortless. Today, almost everything is instant. We can order food with a tap, ask AI to write an essay, or generate an image in seconds, and have entertainment delivered endlessly to our phones. But the things we value most in life usually aren't the things that came easily. Photography reminds us of that. A great photograph still asks something of you. It asks you to wake up before sunrise, to hike a little further, to wait a little longer, or to fail over and over before everything finally comes together. And that's exactly why it feels so rewarding. The satisfaction doesn't come from pressing the shutter, it comes from knowing what it took to get there. I do astrophotography too, and to get photos like this and this, these take 8 hours or more just for one photo. I feel a sense of accomplishment for them because it was hard. The harder you work for a photograph, the more meaningful it becomes. Not because it's technically better, but because a part of you is invested in it. In a world that's making everything easier, photography reminds us that effort still has value and that some of life's greatest rewards are the ones you have to earn. So maybe photography isn't really about photographs after all. Maybe it's about becoming the kind of person who notices more, who slows down, who gets outside, and who embraces curiosity. The photographs are evidence that this happened. So don't worry about whether or not your photos are good enough. Don't compare yourself to other photographers. And don't let AI convince you that creating an image is the same as living the moment. So let's revisit that description of photography being the recording of light, or that it's somehow a result or a product. Photography is the process and experience of going out and exploring the world with a camera in your hand. So take your camera, Go somewhere beautiful or somewhere ordinary. Pay attention, be curious, be patient, because one day you probably won't remember every photograph you took, but you'll always remember the life you lived while making them. Now get out there and take your own unique and amazing photos. I know you can do it.